It's January 6th, 2023, 2024. Um, I was watching, okay, so let's go back to this morning. Um, I keep watching, I keep listening to the CMA and country music. And I mean, like, really, I feel eo me eo, it calls to my heart. Um, so, with that being said, I know that the Great Plains exist. I know that the Great Lakes exist, not just in the five Great Lakes within this sea to shining sea, within the borders. I mean, again, I hear through the Smithsonian theoreticals, which they documented, so now it's on file, and it's a conversation out in the universe, so I'm really careful. A Laurentide ice sheet, that's a geological marvel or whatever. Then that Great Plains, the Western Interior Seaway, if that exists, then that is an Appalachia confirmation with Lara Media. Um, just to keep like Pacific theater, American theater totally separate. So I don't get in trouble with the wrong whatever and whatever. Again, I had like there was a really special boy who came to visit me when I was growing up in the harbor. He was not part of my daily classes, um, but it was a special event to go see Dances with Wolves. I don't know who set that up, what promoter, what house. Um, it seems really relevant and important. Again, at shipping containment, there's the God, which people say is God, and it's on the monetary system. In God we trust. Everybody thinks they know what church is until you really sit down and ask them for directions. And then it really leads me to like, where is my big brother in all of this? In one star. Um, so I'm just going to stay like so everybody has to have a North Star. So north to my star, which then I replicated in Calcaneus calculus, which is a whole mathematical set of formulas and principles I've never heard anybody speak of. I whatever and whatever. Um, I have my one that I found that shares the same birthday. Although there's, of course, I don't want to discredit the doctor that came to deliver Alexander and then followed up as Nico, asking me about polygamy with Jason only a few feet away, and I really getting dizzy and not sure how to answer that. But to answer this, I'm watching last night on January 5th, just Five Lakes. Um, there is this Leland Vittert, and I'm listening to his news broadcast. Again, there's two wars being fought right now that I'm aware of, or at least that the Appalachia Theater in New York, in my channels, are alerting me to. That's the Israeli war and the Ukrainian war. Although the Ukrainian war, they don't even really touch on anymore. It's really focused on this crisis. And then they call it crisis. Again, I don't know the difference between a war and a crisis. It all looks really serious business elsewhere. But listening, and they speak of the woman lets out planned Peoria. And I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, nobody knows what planned Peoria is except for the people involved in that set of circumstances where I blacked out, um, in a very distinctive company of Cardinals and Joe, at a prom, and not knowing any of the circumstances or the people at Walt Whitman. I wasn't even at the harbor. I don't know who was there. I don't know who sent them. I don't know who I was hanging out with. They know who they are. Um, but this was, um, I don't know what, very different than being invited to a another North Shore harbor where I sat on the gate of a flatbed truck um, with somebody very, and we had a really nice time. Um, that was Tim White from Genevieve's invited me to that. Different, just so Saladino doesn't get crazy if anybody asks him about anything that happened in Huntington later on in whatever. I hear the Chiefs and the whatever. But Plan Peoria is something that went on, um, which just, it is just how, I guess, dangerous it is to live here reputational wise. And then it changed, it's what I believe changed the whole course, but I don't really know because nobody speaks of it. And it's like everybody just disappeared. Um, and I don't know who was involved in Planned Peoria that tried to hurt me. Again, who knows? Who doesn't know? I don't know. I don't speak of it. Lewis sent me to some landmark event, and there was a representative there, very whatever, from Texas. Um, Once and only time I met him. Um, Lainey Wilson has a saying that if I smell like smoke, it's because I've been to hell. That just seems really key. Again, I wrote something this morning like Lee Bryce has this song, one of them girls, Sexy Not Even Trying. Again, I don't want to get caught up in Lauren Tide and then somewhere in the USA territory of the United States of America with Federal Reserve notes on file. And however that works, knowing that there's a Pacific Theater and American Theater, and then there's this Western Interior Seaway possibility, and then again, there's rivers and channels and lakes, and it's a big wide world of geography and keeping things straight. But when I hear this banter with Plan Peoria, my ears perk up in what? Because I don't have access to any of their channels of communication. Um, but to me, it looks like somebody knows and somebody is acknowledging like just how far they went to try to hurt me and then just disappear.
Relying the positivity, if you would. I think this administration and this particular president, being who he is, he's not exactly the cheerleader, right? He's not exactly putting a sunny face on things. And so it's somewhat reminiscent, if you would, of those Jimmy Carter days. And those are days we do not want to live through again. And yet it almost feels like Jimmy Carter 2.0. So even today, when maybe you can look and say, well, there are some things we could cherry pick out of the jobs report that we like, I still don't love it. He's not going to do that. Instead, he's going to double down on some of the political rhetoric that he thinks might actually play in Peoria, as they say. Trish, it's good to see you as
Planned Peoria. I have a different take on Planned Peoria with an actual personalized event with the Cardinals and Joe. Um, and something that went on in the Walt Whitman prom. Let's call it PROM, just for 4 letters, since there's 3 letters, 4 letters, and then they make a 7. Um, in whatever that really means in calcaneus calculus. Um, I mean, I don't know. Does that put a dent in it for like fixing something? Um, I don't know. But I do have the future star. or a future star. Um, and I want to make sure he winds up on the correct and successful side of the GOD. Um, I am just, I'm in an internal struggle at the moment after planned Peoria or whatever they did, whoever they were, to try to destroy whatever in big wheels keep on turning. That's a Leonard Skinner reference. I saw that on Nashville's Siren Songs of Greatest Hits. Who was in Nashville? I heard Texas was reviewing the last 30 years worth of country music. Um, I thought that was interesting. Lynn just mentioned it, and because she kept hearing me listen to the New York version, which was live from Nashville, and then Dustin Lynch was here in Times Square, which was really nice. Um, I guess he's the representative that they sent. I did not watch whatever the debauchery was with Megan the Stallion and whatever that noise is. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like any of it. I don't find it entertaining. I don't find it whatever in whatever. Um, it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.